Now, if you look on the left side, there are a few different sections. Let's take a look at tutorials. And tutorials here shows that there is one tutorial that is already available. It's called Space Game. And at the top here, it shows all our featured tutorials. As you can see here, the cost of each tutorial is $0. That's because, like I said, for public schools, we made everything free. So if you sign up as a teacher from a public school, you get every course for free. Now, let's say I want to start teaching a course. Maybe I want to teach the Brambleberry Tales course 1 over here. So again, I got there by going from feature tutorials, I pressed the right arrow, and then here it says Brambleberry Tales course. I can just click on that, and it actually asks me to place an order of $0. Don't worry, you don't have to give a credit card, of course, for a $0 purchase. I could just put in my name again, and I can say place order. Looks the same over here, but if I now scroll down, I can see, oh, hey, there's the Brambleberry Tales book. I now have that tutorial so that I can use it myself. As a teacher, you can now access this course. If we look at our student's account though, and let's say I refresh the page, the course still isn't there. That is because sometimes you might want to have students only enrolled in one of the courses to not confuse them with like, oh, here's 10 of them. So what you can do is if you go back to My School here, you can select Enroll, and then you can select from all the courses you've added yourself, so in this case only the Brambleberry Tales book. You can select, okay, Jane, you should now be, you should be enrolled in the Brambleberry Tales book 1 course. Enroll her, and as you can see at the top, the student was enrolled. Okay? If I now look at Jane's account, then I can see, yeah, now she has access to this. So you can continue with your own account here. Like I said, when you go to the tutorial section, we're going to start with the first chapter of Brambleberry Tales book 1. So if someone missed that, I'm just going to go back for a second to make sure everyone got that, to make sure everyone knows what to do. I will go to Tutorials and then select Chapter 1, and this is what you should see. What you see here is the story of Lily and Thomas, who are sitting out at the front porch, and they go on a walk together. So after I've seen these images, can just close that. Again, that's just for the storyline, of course. If I close that, and there I can see Lily and Thomas, who is ahead. Now, what I want to do here is I want to make Lily move towards Thomas to catch up with him. What I can use for that is our system called Blockly. For those who are not familiar with Scratch, or Blockly actually. Blockly is a similar system. This allows you to drag in blocks and automatically the system will go through each block step by step. So I would always start with a game start block like this. How would I get Lily to Thomas? Move right. Okay, so we have the move right block here, and I can put that right inside game start. Now nothing happens just yet, and that is because I have to press start. And there she walked, and then it said, whoops, try again. So maybe let's reset here for a second. Something went wrong. We should try again. Move right again. Let's try it out. Start, move right, whoops, try again. 3 times, 4 times actually works too. She can do 5 times, as long as she actually meets Thomas. There we go, level completed. This first level is, of course, to introduce the concept of blocks, and every level after this gets a little bit more difficult, a little bit more challenging. Now that we've completed this one, we can actually go on the left side here, where it has the 3 little bars. If you click on that, it shows all the other chapters. Okay, so there's 14 chapters. I won't dive right into chapter 14. Let's just go, we finished chapter 1. Let's go to chapter 2. Chapter 2, she's still following Thomas. Let's close. Take a look over here. What do I start with? Game start. And then what? Move right. Move right again. Move down. Move down. She already reached him. We can actually do 2 move downs as well. If you had that, that's totally fine. There she is. Level completed. What Blockly teaches is, of course, it's different from writing code. But it shows to students that the way that code works goes one line at a time. And you provide a set of instructions, and then you run it. And once you run it, it goes one instruction, the next instruction, the next instruction. And if you understand that, you understand a very important part of what code is. For those students that do want to see, like, oh, or maybe the teachers who do want to see what would that look like in the coding language Python, you can select Python over here, and it actually shows some Python code. I'm not going to explain all the code right now. We're going to get into Python for the next course. So for now, I'll just go back to Blockly. But you can probably see some similarities to our blocks, right? Move right, move down, move down. Oh, there's the start. And this is real code. This is real Python code. So back to Blockly. Also, an important feature here is that you can, of course, save your progress. Always important to remember to save your progress. And you can do that right over here. I'm just going to jump ahead to chapter 4. Let's take a look over here. I'm just skipping one chapter right now. I generally wouldn't do that, but I just want to kind of see another feature that might be useful for everyone to know. Now I have an interesting one. This is basically, okay, we understand the steps. So what's the first thing I should do if Lily wants to get to Thomas? Game start. And then what? Move right. So we see the same move right block. But you might notice a little difference here. There's a number. Any guesses on what that number can do? Instead of dragging that little block in every single time, we can make it, well, what number do you think we should put in? Let's try out 7. And again, I press start. And there she walks all the way with only one command or one Blockly block. What this shows is that when you're writing code, there are usually different ways of doing it. And of course, it would have worked as well if I, instead of saying move right 7, I could have just put in move right, etc. It works too, but it's a lot more work. And when you're writing code or learning what code is, then it's very important to understand, like, oh, there's different ways. Both work, but one of them is a bit easier, one of them is a bit harder. Okay, so of course we don't give this information at the very beginning, because you should always first learn the hard way, and then you appreciate the easier way. I've already completed this, so I'll just change it back to what it was. Move right 7, I'll save it. Let's go to chapter 5. And then everyone can try and figure out for themselves what is the best way to get to Thomas from here. Do you have to put it all together in one start block before you press start? And yes, that's exactly how code works. You have to first write all the things you want it to do, and then you press start, and then it runs all of it. You can't halfway through the program add some code. You can always test it, that's right. So for example, if I thought like, oh, let me try moving it to the right, let's try it out. Okay, that worked, great. Let's just try again, but that's fine. You can use the trees for it. The trees help with the counting. And other than that, it's also just about trying, right? And just seeing what works and what doesn't work. I'll just save this for now, and I'll switch here. On each account, it shows a little star for every course that they have completed. So you can always know when you look at their account, like, hey, did you just skip ahead, or did you actually complete them all? Let's say I put in move right 10, and then move down also 10. Once I press start, she will walk all the way to the right, And she basically keeps trying to walk to the right, but she cannot get there because there's a tree. And then she walks all the way down, and then it just says level completed. Now, of course, I could have also said move right 9 or move right 8 because that was actually more steps than necessary. So yes, it is true that there are sometimes multiple solutions for the same puzzle. Let me just skip ahead maybe to a slightly further just to show you what's up next. I don't actually intend to finish that full chapter, but if I switch ahead to, for example, chapter 11, where Lily has to get to Thomas, who's at the beach, and she's blocked by some rocks over here. This is the point where you can see there's already a few more blocks. So I just want to show that over time, we add more blocks, give more functionality, and we, of course, don't want to start with that. But as we add more blocks, students learn about, oh, and what's this, and what's that, you know? So that's really the way we found works the best to step-by-step expose them to more information. Okay, like I said, if you ever have any feedback, definitely do let us know. We really like to hear it. We, of course, also like to hear that you're using it, but also to see what we can improve on. I want to switch to the other PixelPAD system that we have, which is PixelPAD Python. Blockly, perfect for students from K to 3, because, of course, they don't have to type yet. It's all drag and drop. It runs on an iPad as well. You can drag and drop on an iPad. Really accessible for everyone. For older kids, this can still be fun, but after they finish it, they might say, like, okay, what's next, right? We have an answer for that, of course.